Hello, we are here at Bege 2022 and I'm here with Bege. Thank you for coming and doing this interview with me. So could you please introduce yourself and the company you represent?
Thank you for having me. My name is Bege and I'm the CS manager for the Bulgarian team of Betano. We are here operating on the Bulgarian market since mid-January, and it's been almost a full year since we are here on the Bulgarian market, and it's been a great journey for us.
Okay, thank you. So could you please tell us what elevates Betano's customer services to a superior level?
Well, if I have to choose one thing, that would definitely be the great customer support that we provide to our customers. And we're always polite and empathic. We understand what people are saying to us. And as you probably know, the industry is quite demanding, and we need to be on our top level in order to make sure that the requests of our customers are met and their issues are, of course, resolved, and other questions are answered in a polite manner. And in order to do that, it's not only the CS team involved, it's basically the whole company and all the teams here with us that are working with us. Sorry.
Okay, so in less than a year, Betano placed itself amongst all of the leaders in the Bulgarian market. Could you tell us how you managed to achieve that?
Well, the easy answer to that would be a lot of hard work, but to be honest, if I have to elaborate on that one, I would also include the incredible dedication of all our agents, and from the country manager to the marketing team to the junior CS agent, we are working as a one team here in Bulgaria. And one team being one of our core values, this is a kind of a solid foundation that we're building on and we're continuing to build on.
Okay, great answer, thank you. So what is your plan for the next year in terms of product development?
Well, like I said in one of my previous answers, and apologies for repeating myself, we will continue to provide excellent customer support and experience to our clients. All teams involved in the making of our product are continuously working to improve the platform, the services that we provide, and our main goal is, of course, to have happy clients. And there are a lot of new. There are a lot of new features coming next year, so you will probably see that the solid foundation that I've been talking about will be something that we'll continue to build on, like I said.
We can't wait to see what you guys prepared. And my last question for you is, what makes your brand stand out from the other competitors in the Bulgarian market?
Well, probably I will have to go back once again on the great attitude that we provide to our customers, and the thing is that we are receiving a lot of positive feedback for that one in particular. There are some incredible features on our platform, and I have to mention our very own Sportsbook, a platform which is one of the best in the industry. And to be honest, we have been awarded with the EGR Operator of the Year award recently, so this is something that we need to continue building on, and this is something that we're looking forward to actually receive as an award every single year. But it's not only that. In the end, we are all doing it for the customers, and we will continue to provide our best support for them.
Okay, thank you, Boris. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much.
I hope we see you again next year at the next exhibition.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Hello, I'm here with Milena Tsankarska from City Interactive. Can you please introduce yourself and the company you represent?
Hi, thank you for this kind invitation. My name is Milena Tsankarska and I am Head of Business Development of City Interactive Region EMEA. City Interactive is one of the leading content provider in the online gaming. We offer more than 200 HTML5 games, which are suitable for all kinds of devices like desktop, mobile or tablet. Also, we offer very interesting jackpot concepts and free spins. Our games are certified in more than 17 jurisdictions.
Okay, can you tell us what was the main focus of your company for 2022 and what will be the focus for the next year?
Our main goals for 2022 was to expand our game portfolio and strengthen our position in some of the key markets, for example, Slovakia, Czech, Swiss, Italy, Romania, Serbia, CIS, and LATAM. Of course, for 2023, we are planning further expanding the game portfolio, offering new and exciting concepts, and also to enlarge our presence in LATAM and Europe.
Okay, and can you present some of the products you're showcasing here at Bege?
Especially for the World Cup, Football World Cup, we present our latest novelties, a very interesting and nice game called Football Heroes. It has a very nice and unique design and also refers to the very interesting and attractive sports like soccer balls, red cards, and of course World Cup.
Thank you. And why this event is important for your company?
Actually, Balkan Entertainment and Gaming Expo is one of the key and major platform and events in the gambling industry. It gathers all the representatives from all around the European region. Of course, City Interactive is one of the biggest company and one of the exhibitors, the Balkan Entertainment and Gaming Expo, recognize these events as very useful for creating new contacts, meeting our partners, potential clients, and also giving us an opportunity to be familiar with the latest trends in the industry.
Okay.
And of course, I would like to mention as well that in the last night on the glamorous Bege Awards ceremony, our company was awarded for the online game of the year, which is again another big recognition for our company from the organizers.
Congratulations.
Thank you
on
very
your
much. We are very
awards.
happy. Well deserved. We worked a lot.
Yes. And my last question for you, Milena, is how do you see the future in the gambling industry? What are the most important trends that will shape the industry's future?
What we are confident and what I've heard yesterday during one of the panels in the Eastern European Gaming Summit, actually, of course, this is the metaverse, VR and artificial intelligence, which will take a very serious part in both land-based and online. Also, cloud-based services, which make the content easier to reach and available to all devices.
Okay, thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for the invitation. It was a pleasure for me as well. Wish you all the best and successful event on the next year.
Yes, and hopefully we'll see each other.
Yeah,
next year.
yeah. Thank you.
Hello, I'm here with Jesus from Walega. It's really nice to meet you. Thank you for attending this interview. Could you please briefly introduce yourself?
Thank you for the opportunity to be here and for your time. I'm Jesus. I'm the delegate of La Liga for the Balkan region. And basically, I'm part of the international development department of La Liga, which is aiming to promote more our competition and our clubs. And we are here today because our great partnership here in Bulgaria with PansBet.
Okay, can you tell us what's the relation between sports properties and betting?
Yeah, well, traditionally the main point of the relationship is regarding the sponsorship as for example we are doing here in Bulgaria with PalmsBet. And I think the path will be more or less the same, maybe with some adaptations in the future regarding new technologies. But sponsorship between sport properties, football and betting will of course continue in the near future.
Okay, and you mentioned PalmsBet. That's my second question. Can you tell us more about your relationship with PalmsBet? How was it possible? How did it happen?
So in La Liga, we are also looking for partners outside Spain, and we had the chance to meet with the guys of PalmsBet. They have an amazing team, and was really easy to connect with them. They are open-minded. They have a great team, and we are also looking for companies that allow us to go international and to give more awareness to La Liga brand. And we are really happy to go with them in this partnership.
Okay, and what are your plans in terms of your partnership with PalmsBet?
Main plan is to activate with them, to do different activities for the fans, also B2B and B2C activities. We already did the launch of the partnership in August with an ambassador of La Liga here, coming to Bulgaria, to Sofia, with Luis Garcia, former Atletico and Barcelona player. We also did a watch party for fans around the last game of Real Madrid versus Barcelona, and we would like to do many more watch parties for fans, and hopefully someday we can have here a team coming from La Liga to play a match.
Okay, and my last question for you is, do you have any suggestion on what should be discussed on the next edition of the conference?
From my side, I will be happy to have a section or connection more with sport, with football. We will be happy to attend and to help in whatever we can. We are happy to be here, and we hope to be here also in the next edition.
Yes, we hope so as well. Thank you very much for doing this interview. It was a pleasure talking
Thank
to
you.
you.
Thank you for your time.
Hello, I'm here with Boadan. It's really nice to meet you. Thank you for doing this interview with me. Can you introduce yourself briefly?
Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me. My name is Vladan Blagojevic. I'm Business Development Manager for Odin GG. Odin GG is a company specialized in esports betting. We provide esports odds feed, risk management and iframe solutions, and also marketing solutions to the operators that goes with the esports.
Okay. So what was the topic of your conference session, and why do you think it's an important one to be discussed?
So the topic was actually cross points in marketing between digital marketing, responsible gaming. I think it was heavily focused on responsible gaming. And why responsible gaming is important, like my friend Aryan, I think you interviewed him yesterday,
Yes.
said we are killing ourselves pretty much because the regulators are putting a lot of legislations which doesn't suit all the operators. So we need to self-regulate if we want to keep existing, and responsible gaming is a crucial part of that. But also why responsible gaming is important is gambling is addiction like everything else in life, and you need to promote it healthy, like healthy gambling, which you do for fun. So it really is important to educate all the parties what is gambling, how it works, and to educate them how they can self-exclude and how they can monitor basically how much they're spending with this, because you don't want to make problems for them, right? And also why it's important to avoid this younger audience that is underage, and the operators and all other parties, they need to make a joint effort into educating everyone and marketing everything that is in regards to responsible gaming.
Okay, thank you. And what would you say is the hottest subject of the gaming industry today?
I think esports, given the fact that recently we had a COVID period, right, where there was no traditional sports, nothing could be played, and esports rised really big during that time because esports it continued to be played in online environment. So currently, some estimation says that currently sports betting is 5 to 10% of whole betting in the world, which is equal to give you a number, it's equal to approximately 13 billion of USD, which is a huge number.
Yes.
And it's also it's subject of opinion, but they prognose it that it's gonna be by 2028 it's gonna be worth more than 25 billion, and it will be 15% of the whole industry. And I think with even now in post-COVID, we see a lot of companies going to esports because it's something new. It attracts Generation Z, younger audience, and this younger audience, these are the people that either work in IT industry or they are really educated and they have higher income and they are used to online life, right? They're spending time on social medias, playing games, and it's really attractive audience.
Okay, and what do you see as the next major change in the gaming industry?
Well, I think the industry already started shifting because of the COVID. COVID heavily, it was a big impact because all land-based casinos, land-based shops, they were closed during this time, and a lot of businesses were jeopardized. So we see a lot more even casinos, land-based casinos, looking at the online world and how they can actually switch to online. So I think that shift towards online gambling we will see more in upcoming period because it resolves a lot of issues in times like pandemic. They will still keep their business ongoing, and during COVID it was really jeopardized. A lot of them suffered, some of them closed, some of them survived, but now they want to learn on their mistakes. So I think this is the next thing that's coming to the gambling industry.
Okay, and my last question for you is, do you have any suggestion on what should be discussed in the next edition of the conference?
Well, I think esports, like it's hot topic, and I see a lot of young people here. So I definitely think that next year we should have more presentations or panels about esports and esports betting to actually educate people here. Since I see that a lot of land-based casinos, land-based sportsbook is here present, so we need to educate them, and I think that having esports there will be beneficial for everyone.
Okay, thank you very much, Vladan. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Здравейте, сега съм с господин Милен Тотев от Аматик. Много ми е приятно.
Здравейте.
Благодаря ви, че правите това интервю с нас. Може ли да се представите малко по-обстойно?
Здравейте, аз съм Милен Тотев, представител на Казино игри и иновации. По принцип сме дистрибутори на Amatic Industries за България. Също така и произвеждаме Amatic игрални автомати в собствени кабинети, да бъдат по-евтини. От друга страна, по-големите компании, който иска оригинален хубав кабинет, си закупува оригиналния кабинет на Amatic.
Добре.
По принцип, още от първото изложение на Bege Expo сме присъствали на изложението и прекъснахме 2 години заради COVID вълната, ако мога така да кажа.
Да, и вече отново пак се завърнахме. Следващия ми въпрос е какви са основните цели, които сте си поставили за тази година и какви цели ще имате за следващата също?
По принцип не си поставяме някакви цели, така план да правим и да ги преследваме. Гледаме да присъстваме на пазара. Amatic не е толкова популярна игра в България. Все пак знаете, че в България пазара е силно представен от 2 български компании, което е много добре, нали? И се опитваме да наложим и нещо по-различно. Все пак има и чужденци, които присъстват в страната. Аматик е популярна в Австрия, в Македония, Сърбия и други европейски страни. Някаква ниша се опитахме да запълним. Също така произвеждаме и джакпоти. Доста време. Имаме към 100 джакпотера разпространени в страната, които не са казино менеджмент системи, просто джакпоти, доста популярни и успешни се оказаха, тъй като не се развалят и хората, малките игрални зали ги търсят. Това е.
Да. Изложението започна вчера. Какви са ви впечатленията до сега? Отговаря ли на очакванията ви? И също така, защо изобщо това изложение е важно за компанията?
Аз мисля, че това изложение е много добро попадение, по принцип, което са създали да бъде в България. Бих казал, че това е може би второто по големина изложение след Лондон в Европа. И след като 2 години е нямало изложение, нали, също и в Лондон нямаше, и България заликува от вълната, просто в момента има голяма посещаемост. Доста чужденци виждам, в смисъл, нали, от съседните България страни, от европейски страни, от азиатски страни също така идват. Популяризира се много онлайна и забелязваме нови компании, които присъстват с нови продукти, което е добре за страната, крайна сметка. Да. Тук се създават контакти и България добре е да изнася продукти.
Да. И последният въпрос, който имам към вас е: как виждате бъдещето в игралната индустрия? Кои са основните тенденции, които се задават и биха оформили бъдещето на игралната индустрия като цяло?
Последно време се забеляза мода, може би от 1 година, в линк игрите. И в момента виждаме на Bege Expo доста компании са предложили такива линк игри. Това са игри, които се линкват помежду си и имат отчисления вграден джакпот. Такива са по принцип популярни за Apex, може би едни от първите, които наложиха Gover Link играта. Появи се на пазара преди няколко месеца и на егата Eurogames Technology Bell Link, което е изключително популярно в България. Предполагам, ще натръгне и в околните страни, съседни на България. Забелязвам, че Меркур са предложили линки игри, IGT, Zitro също така. По принцип те само линки ги правят. Zitro сега се вкарали нова система и това е последната мода в наземния хазарт, която тръгва. А онлайн хазарта, там модата там се отпуши, взеха се появяват нови онлайн оператори в страната, и което е добре. Нови работни места се отварят. Да. Индустрията върви на добре.
Да. Добре, много ви благодаря, господин Тотев. Беше удоволствие да разговарям с вас и това беше от...
И аз благодаря.
Hello, I'm here with James. It's really nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Thank you for doing this interview with us. Could you please introduce yourself briefly?
Certainly. Thanks for having me. I'm James Illingworth. I'm Vice President of Client Services for the EMEA region for GLI. So we cover 9 offices within Europe, Middle East and Africa.
Okay, thank you. So what was the topic of your conference session and why do you think that it is an important one to be discussed?
Okay, well, there's been lots of important panels during the 2 days of the conference, but yesterday we touched on new markets, regulations and responsible gaming. So all key areas for the people attending the show and the conference. And we went through all the new opportunities in the world, not just in the Balkans, but in Europe, but the world. We went through where regulations are impacting people at the moment or where regulations are pending. And we discussed how, with all the new markets opening and existing markets, where responsible gaming is being addressed and being tweaked with new technologies coming and new responsibility to make everything work hopefully as streamlined as possible.
Okay, and what would you change in the present state of the gambling industry?
Good question. I think it changes region to region. Everyone has a wish list and everybody wants to change certain things depending on what their business opportunities are, but we have to try and work within the regulations as a whole. We have GLI standards to try and help people transfer their products around these markets, challenged by the different changes in regulations around the world. So I don't think it's one particular, it's that we can have some synchronicity with markets accepting products without too many changes. Because when you develop something and it needs changing all the time for different markets, that means cost, development and issues for manufacturers and operators. So many different wishes, they vary market to market.
Okay, that's a great answer, thank you. And what would you say is the hottest subject in the gaming industry today?
Yeah, well, I think at the moment it's been a very busy year after COVID for land-based reopening and business being back to normal. Online has continued through those last 2 years being very busy, but the biggest push at the moment from the customers we have is into new markets, especially North America. Very active with sports books. We're taking all the European sports books over there, on top of the land-based business picking back up, and South America will obviously pick up now with new markets happening all the time. Africa is developing. Again, sportsbook leads the way in Middle Africa, and then the online casino market will follow, and new regulations as well. So it's a global expansion at the moment that we're going through. We're seeing business increase across the globe.
Okay, and what do you see as a major change in the gaming industry?
A major change?
The near future.
Well, with things like cryptocurrencies coming in and metaverse is being talked about, and of course these new products or new worlds don't have the regulations of bricks and mortar like land-based or online. So every time new technology comes, sometimes the regulations have to be adopted to develop alongside them. So it's challenging and nothing stays the same, but we need good legislation, good regulation to ensure long-term success of gaming companies, for operators and for developers along the way. So it's continuous. It's continuous.
Okay, and my last question for you, James, is do you have any suggestion on what should be discussed on the next edition of the conference?
Definitely.
Okay.
No.
Could you share with us?
Yeah, of course. It's been a great conference. Many good attendees from around the Balkan region, but international as well, which is good. The show has been busy for 2 days to run alongside, so it's great. So I think the object of having 2 events to run alongside is fantastic. Well attended, good quality speakers, well organised, and makes it very enjoyable for everybody here. And I think we need to make sure that we develop it. Doesn't need 3 days. 2 days is perfect, and it fits well into the show calendar because this is the last major event of the year. So the timing is actually good, it's well attended, there's not too much to change.
Oh, okay.
I think we need to make sure that we keep the same quality, work hard as the organisers do, and make sure we deliver a quality programme and in a good venue. So it's been perfect.
Okay, thank you very much. It was pleasure talking to you.
Lovely. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, hello, I'm here with Tim from Suzuka. It's really nice to meet you. Thank you for doing this interview with us today.
Nice to meet you.
Could you please introduce yourself and the company you're representing?
Yeah, so I'm Tim Kennedy. I'm the VP of Sales for Europe for Suzuka.
Okay, and could you please tell us about what was your main focus for 2022 and what will be your focus in the upcoming year as well?
Yeah, sure. So 2022 for us has been a year of recovery, I would say, after COVID. Things finally returning to normal. 23 is all about growth. So we see, we're really pleased to be at the show like this, meeting customers again. And we see lots of opportunities in the future as people look to reinvest in their retail businesses.
Okay, and can you present some of the products you're showcasing here at Bege?
Yeah, so we have 2 sides of our business that we're representing at the show. The first is our traditional components business, and we supply many of the machine manufacturers and vendors that you see at the show. So we are talking to them with our range of components. And then the other side of our business newly introduced is sports betting. So we're showing a range of sports betting terminals, particularly focused on the regional sports betting market, based in Bulgaria, but also the surrounding countries.
Okay, and can you tell us why this event is important for your company?
Yeah, I think for the gaming industry, I think it's an industry that really thrives on person-to-person contact. Certainly in this region, makes sense to do business face-to-face. It's always the best business, the strongest relationships for us are face-to-face. Obviously, like everybody, we had to adapt during COVID and do everything over Teams. But yeah, being at the show, we can achieve that aim, but also we can not only catch up with all of our existing customers, but try and appeal to the new customers and represent the latest products on the sports betting side, which is a completely new endeavor for us in this region.
Okay. And my last question for your team is, how do you see the nearest future in the gaming industry? What are the trends that will shape?
Yeah, so I see there's a number of opportunities and a number of risks, like everything. So on the risk side, I would say increased regulation is something that we're all going to have to adapt to. And we've recently introduced some products that help operators and also developers meet the latest changes in legislation. So for example, age verification I think is going to be very important in the future. On the opportunity side, I see that, you know, there's many opportunities that we can learn from the online sector and the omni-channel world and from different industries to keep gaming relevant, to keep it entertaining, and we are constantly bringing to market new products to make terminals, sports betting terminals, gaming machines and also amusement continuing to be entertaining and relevant in the new reality.
Okay, thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
And see you next year, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, thank you. Hello, I'm here with Bege. It's really nice to meet you. Thank you for doing this interview with us. Could you please introduce yourself briefly?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having me. My name is Radoslav Georgiev. I am a national consultant helping online casino and betting operators, affiliates and game providers attract more users from Google through Google search engine optimization.
Okay, can you tell us more about your topic of conference discussion, and why do you think that it's an important one?
Yeah. Yesterday I was part of the panel discussing responsible gambling as well as digital and affiliate marketing. I'm an expert in affiliate marketing through the SEO channel, and I think it's an important discussion point because I see that lots of affiliates don't really understand how important they could be in the responsible gambling journey to zero, and sometimes they could do more and can do things better, but they need to first of all get more educated about the topic of responsible gambling, but because it's usually associated only with the operators, which is not entirely their full interest, of course. Affiliates can also do more, but they need to get, first of all, more educated, and they have to put more work into the process.
Okay, and what would you change in the present state of the global gambling industry?
I think that regulation is the thing that should be changed. I mean, literally all around the world, because some places have over-regulated, others have under-regulated. Lots of places have this gray area where you're not really sure whether you're operating legally, illegally, or you're not breaking any legal requirements, but still some of the practices could be deemed immoral. So if there's, especially in the European Union, a broad agreement on some law and frameworks, that would be beneficial, and of course having all the points clear for operators, game providers, affiliates and so on would be useful for everyone.
Okay, and as per today, what would you say is the hottest subject in the gambling industry?
I think that's definitely the USA. Since they started regulating state by state, I mean, there's tremendous interest from everyone in this market, and I'm seeing especially the affiliates, some of the biggest traditional affiliates in Europe, they've changed their focus entirely to the US, and they are pushing very, very hard. In some states in the US, it's very common that affiliates are profiting from the market, whereas the local operators, they're still on such a big spending spree that they cannot reach any profitability. But really, that's the biggest market in the short and midterm for sure.
Okay, so we covered the hottest subject, but what would you say about a major change which is going to happen in the near future in the gambling industry?
Yeah. I think there's like two major changes. First one will be the regulations. I'm seeing that more and more countries will adopt some kind of regulation, even if they didn't have it so far, just because humans like to get entertained. Gambling is one form of that, and in every country there's people who are looking to do it. Some do it legally because they have the legal operators offering services there. Others do it illegally because they are restrained by the local administration or there's lack of any laws. So I think the sooner that most countries adopt any kind of framework, that would be beneficial for all. And the second biggest change which is underway is that I believe that the new generation of the crypto users and the adoption of cryptocurrencies is so widespread that it's basically outpacing the growth of the fiat casinos and the fiat payments. And I think that cryptocurrencies as a method of payments will be, I think it's growing, and I think it's going to grow even faster in the future.
Okay, and my last question for you is, do you have any suggestion on what should be discussed in the next conference session?
I believe that there's plenty of successful stories, especially in Bulgaria, about for-on-one gambling, not only on local level but also on international one. There's plenty of affiliates which were originating or have some offices in Bulgaria, and they have very great success, not only on the Balkans but also throughout Europe and even sometimes the rest of the world. So I would love to see more content related to affiliates or online gambling for next year.
Okay, thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you, and hopefully we'll see you next year as well.
For sure. Looking forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, I'm here with Gemma. It's really nice to meet you. Thank you for doing this interview with us. Could you please briefly introduce yourself with more details?
Sure. So yeah, my name's Gemma Bohr. I'm a gambling lawyer from London, England, where I provide legal advice to companies in the gambling sector.
Okay, and what was the topic of your conference session, and why do you think it's an important one to be discussed?
Sure. So I was talking about B2B, business to business relationships, and why they're important to the gambling industry as a whole, the role that they play, and then also the challenges that are inherent to that type of business model. So I think sometimes people tend to focus very much on getting the deal done, getting the money in, performing the services as quickly as they can, and what they don't tend to focus on is potentially when things can go wrong and how they might like to protect themselves in that event. So I was thinking about questions like compliance, what licenses might be required for a B2B supplier, what jurisdictions would those licenses be required, and also how do they comply with those licenses once they've got them. And I also referred to a court case in the UK which illustrated why B2B contracts are very important, and went through some of the key kind of provisions that you need to think about when you're entering into a new deal, and how you can protect yourself and make sure that the contract reflects accurately the roles, responsibilities and liabilities of the parties.
Okay, so my third question is maybe related to your previous answer, but what would you change in the present state of the global gambling industry?
Sure. So I think that it's very difficult in today's market for gambling industries to be compliant across multiple jurisdictions. And that is because of uncertainty in some jurisdictions in terms of what needs to be done in order to comply. And it's also because compliance is an ever-moving feast, and it's evolving, it changes over time. And actually it's very difficult and requires a lot of resources and investment to make sure that you are up to date with changing requirements from a compliance perspective in different jurisdictions. So if there is one thing that I would like to see changed, it would be that jurisdictions put in place frameworks which are appropriate, adequate and suitable to regulate an industry such as the gambling industry, and that under those regulations the company would be able to do business in the countries with consumers fairly and be able to make money without having the risk of, for example, losing their licenses, suddenly not being able to do business, or even worse, have advertising restrictions imposed on them, which can actually in the end grow the black market and not be fair on the consumer.
Okay. And what would you say is the hottest subject in the gambling industry today?
Sure. So I've been hearing a lot about virtual reality and the metaverse at this conference. I think it's a really interesting space. The ability for people to put on headsets and instantly transport themselves to a casino or equivalent is very interesting, and obviously something that's going to become bigger in the future. It also brings with it some questions that need to be asked in terms of from a safer gambling and even just a psychological perspective. How are we going to be protecting people that may overuse these functionalities and use them as a way to escape from the real world? Similarly, with my legal hat on, I think about it from a cyber security perspective, data protection perspective. How are you going to make sure that the players, when they're in the metaverse, are protected, their money isn't going to be stolen, they're not going to have their data stolen? And also, how do you make sure that the person that's actually wearing that headset is the person that you verified, that you understand to be the player? I think there's a lot of potential there for actually fraud or money laundering to be taking place in the metaverse. And these are all kind of questions and considerations which will come out in the wash as it becomes bigger, as we start to understand how it is being exploited, as these things always are, and how the companies that are operating there can better prevent that from happening.
Okay, and what do you see as a major change in the nearest future of the gambling industry?
Sure, so I think that as a consequence of a lot of new markets opening up or existing markets changing their regulations, we're going to be seeing maturity in terms of the regulations in those jurisdictions and in terms of the protections that are put in place to protect players and also to restrict advertising so it's not prolific and being seen by children and under 18-year-olds all the time. So actually, as a consequence of that, I predict more enforcement. I predict that regulators will start to sanction operators. I predict that they will be fining them. There's going to be some big money fines, not only in the UK, but in other jurisdictions abroad. And I predict that there may even be license revocation. So I think it's really important to emphasise for the smaller operators and the newer market entrants that they really should be putting a focus on now on being the best company they can from an overall perspective, rather than just making money and exploiting loopholes, because those loopholes are not going to exist forever.
Okay, and my last question for you is, do you have any suggestion on what should be discussed on the next edition of the conference?
Sure, so I thought it was a great lineup, by the way, very good schedule this year. I certainly enjoyed a lot of the talks. In terms of other things, I think it would be really interesting to have a panel of experts talking about how to deal with regulators. So you could have different perspectives there. You could have people from the from the industry side talking about how they have dealt with regulators in different jurisdictions, what they recommend in that regard. And then on the flip side, you could also maybe even get some regulators involved and get them talking to the industry about what they've seen done well and done not so well. In addition, I think it's amazing how disruptive some companies in this industry are, and you see some fantastic innovation. And I think it would be great to hear from some of the companies that are bringing out these innovative new virtual reality, live streaming, omni-channel products, and have them talking about them, maybe alongside legal and compliance specialists who can think about how that fits into legal frameworks and different consumer protection considerations, etc. Which, would be very interesting for me.
Yeah, that would be very interesting indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Gemma. It was a pleasure talking to you, and hopefully we'll see you next year.
Definitely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello, I'm here with Lubo from Digital. I'm sorry. It's really nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing this
Nice to meet
interview
you too.
with us. Could you please introduce yourself and the company you are representing?
Okay, our company is already 20 years on the market. Basically, we are a producer of software. Our specialty is digital signage software. So, for those who don't know what's that, is a software which can manage a network of displays, and with this software you can manage which content on which display, which time and which way you can be shown. We have some setups for gaming industry, because software is pretty much universal and can be used, and it is installed also in other industries like advertising, retail and so on. As I said, we have some setups for gaming industries, and that's why we are here on this exhibition, which is successful, I must say.
I'm really glad.
This is what we are showing here. Basic products, what we have here on the stand are winning number displays with zoom functionalities on roulette display. Perhaps I will explain more in details later. Then jackpot media, which can be useful for all casino operators, land-based casino operators. Then a solution for poker jackpot on live poker tables, and also with the best hand competition option in that solution. It's difficult to explain now because you cannot see. You should see it, but this is what we have on the stand. And our best seller, let's say, is Wheel of Fortune, which is a marketing tool. This is a product which can be used in many industries, again, in casino environment or in retail or whatever. So basically, it is with that tool you create a marketing campaign with your own graphics, with your own rules, with your own prizes, number of prizes within the campaign, and what is most important, with your graphics. So it is completely customizable, and as I said, this is very successful now in many casinos in Slovenia, Switzerland, Croatia, Panama, Honduras, where else? There are a few other countries I don't remember now.
Okay, a lot of countries.
Yeah.
Okay, and what would you say was the main focus of your company for 2022, and what will be the main focus next year?
Okay, 2022 is almost finished, more or less. So I hope we will close some deals we started here on this exhibition. This is the goal for next month. For 23 we have pretty high goals and expectations, because as you know, in last 2-3 years it was a specific period. Let's call it so. I don't want to say strange, but specific. The whole business was pretty low, and what we expect and what it's pretty much obvious is that in 23 it will get again at least on previous levels or higher. So we expect that we will place products I mentioned before in many casinos or also in other industries.
So you said that you started a few sales here at the exhibition. Did Bege meet your expectation?
Yes, we were on Bege before, I think 2 times, in 18 and 19. So we a little bit knew what to expect, because we knew the exhibition and we knew.
It's not your first time.
No, it's not the first time, and I like this exhibition for many reasons. First of all, organization is very good, and the ladies from organization team are very, how I can say, you can count on them, and whatever problem you have, they resolve it. That's the first. Then visitors are pretty, let's say, quality visitors here, and we got a lot of quality contacts. Met, of course, our friends and partners, which we already know. So yeah, I think at least what we expected, it was achieved, but perhaps in next 2 hours, perhaps it will go also over.
Okay, let's go.
It's still 2 hours till the closing.
Time. Yes.
A lot of time.
And my last question for you is, how do you see the future of the gambling industry? What will be the most important trends that will shape the future of the gambling industry?
That's difficult to say without glass ball, or how it is called.
Okay.
But okay, seriously, I will tell you my opinion. It's obvious that in last few years the trend is of growing online business and not going down with land-based business, but reasons were the situation was pushed operators to lock down, to close down, and so on. I expect that now, since now the pandemic period is over, I hope all land-based casinos will recover, or they already did, most of them. So I expect that in next year or two they will recover also what they didn't invest in last 2 years. Because some parts of the world were not so restricted as Europe was, and development and new products and whatever went ahead there. So I expect that Europe in general will invest more in new products, new technologies, whatever, just to recover what was missed in last 2 years. I think this will be in benefit of all of us, producers, operators, and clients as well.
Great.
So this is, of course, there are some shadows and clouds. You never know what will be with perhaps new pandemic, perhaps expansion of the war, which is close to us. But I don't want to think about that. I don't want to be limited by that. We will see what the situation will bring. and what the future will bring. If everything will be normal, I think it will be quite big expansion in next year, 2-3 years.
Okay.
I am optimistic.
Yes, you're optimistic, and that's a good quality.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you, Lou. And hopefully we'll see you next year as well.
Hopefully, yes.
Yes. Okay,
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello, I'm here with Alessandro from PSM Tech. It's
Hi.
really nice to meet you.
Thanks.
Thank you for doing this interview with us.
Oh, you're welcome. My
Okay.
duty.
Can you please introduce yourself and the company you're representing?
Sure. As you said, my name is Alessandro Santini. I'm in charge of sales in the Eastern European Union area for Seco Group and PSM Tech. PSM Tech is the part of Seco Group dedicated to supply gaming hardware to land-based machines producers. Seco is a larger group that deals in industrial electronics, board systems, computer modules. We are like a 200 million revenue company, headquartered in Italy, but with R&D centers and production centers in Italy, Germany, US, India, and China. More or less, we are 800 people, 250 of them R&D. This is a large picture of our company.
Okay, and could you please tell us what was your main focus for 2022 and what will be your focus next year?
Okay, for 2022 for PSM Tech, the focus was to present a new product which is called G930, and we presented it at this trade show. Now the product is ready, so next year it's the time to sell it. And we had some very good contacts here in Sofia, and I think next year it will become, I hope, a standard in this market.
Okay, and can you present some of the products you're showcasing here at Bege?
Sure. As I said, we are presenting this new gaming board called G930 Habanero. It was designed to overcome the big problems posed by the shortage of components in the last 2 years. So it can use CPUs from different manufacturers, mainly from AMD and Intel, so that we are always able to supply, even if some shortage problem will happen. The product provides 4 screens at 4K, amplified and non-amplified audio, plenty of I/Os to manage peripherals. On top of that, we supply also an SDK, a software layer that allows slot producers to integrate it easily in their existing platform and to manage peripherals like bill acceptors, coin acceptors, ticket readers, ticket printers, and so on.
Okay, and did you meet your goals by participating here?
Yes, I think so. We had very productive meetings with existing partners, and we also met a score of new possible customers for 2023. So, yes, I'd say so.
Okay, and my last question for you is, how do you see the nearest future in the gambling industry? What are the trends that will shape?
Okay, in my opinion, the next main trend will be multi-channel gaming, meaning having the same content on AWPs, VLTs, online, and so on. So being able to supply a platform to share the same games all over different spaces, in my opinion, is the key to win the market in the next future. And we are working on that. We are working on such a platform and on a similar platform called Open Domino, designed for the Italian market.
Okay, thank you very much, Alessandro.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure talking to you, and hopefully we'll see you next year as well.
I hope so.
Okay.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Hello, I'm here with Oscar. It's really nice to meet you. Thank you for attending this interview. Could you please introduce yourself and the company you are representing?
Yeah, sure. My name is Oscar Giral. I'm the marketing manager at Win Systems. Win Systems is a multinational company offering, we're mainly targeting the land-based operators, and we have two main divisions in that sector. One is the systems division. We offer a casino management system, which is called Wigos. And then we also have the gaming division, which, we offer there the very well-known Gold Club roulettes, electronic roulettes, and we also have a huge library of slots titles, slots games, and this is essentially what we do for the land-based sector.
Okay,
yeah.
So can you tell us what were your goals for 2022 and what will be your main focus for the next year?
Yeah, sure. During 2022, we regained our growth in America and Europe, which are our main markets. So with both divisions, with Wigos and with the gaming division, and this was our scope. We have been heavily growing mostly in the Eastern Europe, in Spain, and now our intention is strengthening our presence in Europe. This is why the main reason for coming to Bege, and this is, well, of course, this is the main intention. The main intention is growing with the right operators, with the right land-based operators, mostly those that are willing to elevate the player's experience, because we know that we are playing in a premium sector, and this is the type of operators we are looking for, the ones that are really pushing for loyalty programs, for a better experience of the players.
Okay, and can you present some of the products you're showcasing this year?
Yeah, again, I need to talk about the two divisions.
Okay.
With Wigos, we came with our latest development, which is called WinUp. WinUp is an app for players, which mostly is used both as a wallet, so it means that you can use the app, players can use the app just to connect to the slot machine or the gaming machine and play with their own money, so they don't need to use cash, because using cash sometimes can be a problem both for the player and for the operator. But it's not only this, it's not only a wallet, it goes beyond, because in the same app we can add any service the casino wants to offer to the players. It means that, I don't know, if the casino has any relevant information, if the casino has a loyalty program, a players club, we can give access to this players club, to these services. I don't know if the casino offers whatever, promotions, any kind of, we can put them in the app. So, if you think about it, it's just being constantly in touch with players. So it's not only that when the player is at the casino, of course, you can touch him. It's also when he leaves the casino, they are constantly in communication, and this is like the main essence of that product, WinUp. In the other division, in the gaming division, we brought our latest development is a limited edition of the Gold Club roulette. We call it the 25th anniversary, because we launched that limited edition just to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the company. And as I said, it's just only for limited time. It has an exclusive design. I mean, it's really nice and attractive red and black design, which will be only available for this model. And we also introduced some improvements in the software, in the design of the layout. So this is going to be available also here at Bege. And yeah, and as I said, we've got many new titles also for our slots. Again, as I said, we've got more than 100 games. So yeah, we never stop adding more and more titles. And these are, I would say, these are the main novelties, new products that we brought.
Okay, and did you meet your goals by participating in this?
Yeah, I mean, I should say, I mean, it's just our second participation at Bege. We came in 2019. Fortunately, then pandemics came. Yes. So now we regain our presence here, and the response has been better than what we expect, to be honest. I mean, we are better known. I mean, we knew in advance that the Gold Club roulettes mainly are very well known. I mean, players know them, operators know them. But we have also found a lot of interest in Wigos, in our casino management system, and also in our slots. And one of the good things of Bege is that it's not only for the Bulgarian market, it's also for the neighbor markets. Yes. And yeah, we are really happy with the response we got. Yeah.
Okay, and my last question for you is, how do you see the gambling's future? Like, what are the most important trends that will shape the gaming industry's future?
Trends, I mean, I would say, well, in the sector, at least as how we see it, in our sector, especially in the land-based, well, not only in the land-based, as one thing is cashless. I mean, the pandemics brought the importance of the cashless because, well, of course, cashless has both security, operational, security and hygiene reasons behind it, and this is a real trend in our sector. Also, we should, let me say that we are world leaders in cashless operations with Wigos. Wigos is our casino management system. We began with cashless operations like about 12 years ago. So, and today our CMS is the one that connects more slots in the world in cashless operations. So it's funny because this trend for us is not really a trend, it's what we are used to do. And yeah, and the other thing is, yeah, that's big trend that we always talk about is the growth of the online. And to that extent, I would say that the online, we don't think it's gonna replace the land-based. I mean, we feel it's gonna be a kind of, well, players will have the opportunity, they will have both offers. They will just choose at every moment if they do prefer going to the physical, to the land, the presential, let's say, casino, which keeps having advantages in terms of social network, the social interaction, which is still important for players. And in other times, they will just choose playing from their laptops, their tablets, from the mobile, and they will do online. But we think they are going to converge to some extent, and the relevant thing about that is that, especially from the systems point, if you realize that there will be only one player, so one player that you need just to identify and just to deal with, either if it's in the land-based casino or it's in the online casino. So having this is called the unique player account management. So one player should have only one account, and independently if it's for land-based or it's for online, and our systems go also on that line. I mean, just having this merge of the players, both either if they are on the online or in the land-based sector. So, and I would say these are like the two big trends, cashless and online. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for doing this interview. It was a pleasure talking to you, and hopefully we'll see you next year as well.
Hopefully, yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
this was all from us, guys. Thank you for being part of this year's conference in Bege. We hope that you enjoyed your stay and next year. Bye.